Hello and welcome to this week's episode of TLDR CLG. This is the week of March 9th, 2015, and my name is Brendan. These are my co-hosts Cry and Jim. So we're going to be covering what's been happening in Halo, CSGO, and LoL for this week and the last week. So we're going to just move into the LoL segment and talk about what happened in the Gravity and the Coast games, as well as what happened with CLG Black. So Cry, can you just lead us off with what happened in the Gravity game? St. Vicious versus CLG, Hecarim.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the CLG versus Gravity game was pretty cool. Zion Spartan was able to pick Hecarim, and I think one of the most interesting parts about this game was how far ahead every single lane, I think it was every single lane, got in terms of against their laning partner in terms of CS. Every time that they did a lane swap, but I suppose that GB just miscommunicated or they pushed the waves at the wrong times. But Zion was able to get so much XP and so much farm to the point where they couldn't do anything about it. He just got so ahead that the enemy team pretty much just got raffle stomped. Also, CLG had really good rotations and really good map control, and it was a really solid game from CLG overall.
Alrighty, anything you want to add to that, Jim?
Yeah, well, if you checked out the League of Legends subreddit, someone compiled some stats, and as Cry was saying, Zion was able to get the largest CS lead at 10 minutes of any player or any top laner in the season. Pretty solid.
All right. Well, people were saying that Gravity wasn't they didn't manage to people were saying that Gravity screwed up the freeze when they were pushing down the tower, but I think that they were doing something else differently. Ellis was actually, I don't think he was here. I think he went back to Korea this week. So they had a ringer. They had a random person there, so it was interesting. I think that may have been an issue because I think CLG baited the Victor pick with the Hecarim early because the Hecarim Victor pick was seen as a combination, but they got the Rek'Sai Hecarim. So for CLG, they actually rebounded it off the first tower, the bottom tower, whereas Gravity pushed through the tower, and then since they couldn't kill off all the minions, they had to rebound it off the second tower. So that actually gave CLG a lot more time to freeze and get more EXP on Zion. So it was it's because people used to rebound out the second tower because you could actually deny him more EXP in CS if you still had the top dual lane up there. But since they had a one-on-one, that just made it a longer lane for what's his face, Hanser to fight in.
It was 3,000, by the way. Zion had a 3,000 gold lead at 20 minutes without any kills.
Ooh.
So that's pretty disgusting.
That's quite a bit.
All right. That's disgusting. And then they forced Sandra the Rome at level 5.
What's Hanser supposed to do versus that? Sit there and cry? I don't know.
Friday was teammate about not doing the lane swap right. So we're going to move over to the Coast game. This was a little bit more close. No. Can you just lead us off with the slaughter, Jim?
Oh, it was, I guess saying raffle stomp's the wrong way to put it, but CLG just took over the entire game. It's something I'd have to say about both games this week. What CLG did is prove that against these lower tier teams, they have the strongest early game in the LCS. It's easy to say that for a fact. And against these two lower tier teams, it's hard to say on Gravity. They were in the top of the standings for quite a while, but they've kind of fallen off. But against both of these teams, unlike they had done against mid to lower tier teams the entire rest of the season, they're able to take an early lead, gain a high ground advantage, just take out that inhibitor tower. Rather than taking out all outer towers, they got an early inhibitor tower and used that as leverage to be able to finish a game early. They didn't have to have a hard team fight outside of an inhibitor tower because they just rotated them, and rather than taking those two last outer towers, they took the inhib tower, and it was game at that point.
Okay. Anything else you want to add? I hear Link likes to split push.
I think he had a good time.
Poor Chris, man. He had Sork boots and a Triforce by the end of the game.
I mean,
he sold those Sork boots later.
Zion got to do a real fun split push moment with the Hecarim teleport into E-ing an inhibitor. That was pretty beautiful.
Wait, was there a Hecarim in that game?
I'm not sure if it was the Cuss game.
No. That was the Hecarim was versus GB.
This is in both games overall. They both got both Zion. I didn't know Link was a fan of split pushing, but I know Zion, and everyone knows Zion has been a split pusher at heart, and they both got a taste of it this week.
Okay. So moving on past the LCS, unless you guys have something else to add, we're going to be talking about the Challenger Series. CLG Black actually, Westside has retired. He's going to be working on that grill, and CLG Lorlo is replacing him. So we don't know really much about them. We recently went 0-2 against NME, who is looking to be like the strongest Challenger Series team at the moment. And we went 1-1 against Final 5, who lost, what's his face? Shorter Ace?
Correct.
Yeah, so then the Final 5 is the second in the standings. We're currently 5th, right above TSM. Woo! But then we can probably do I'm not sure if we can do better, but we're doing, I don't know. What do you guys see the situation as for CLG Black?
I think they're a pretty strong team up there. The Enemy Esports is quite literally, they've dominated the scene. They're the top challenger team right now. No one's beating them. Okay. Lurlo, if anyone would like to know, he was on, I think it was Team Storm. That was the challenger team with Baby Eater and Mandatory Cloud prior to, I don't recall if Baby Eater's still there, but Mandatory Cloud, as everyone recalls, he was in the Coast game that CLG was able to pick up the victory in.
Mandatory Cloud, XP Cake, and Baby Eater. They seem to be still there.
Yes, XP Cake, that's the one.
XP Cake, that guy who isn't really XPK?
Yes.
Okay.
But he's got cake in his name, so it can't be bad.
So you can feed on him then.
More like X piece of cake.
Okay, so moving on.
Stop.
So as we said, most of those games were kind of CLG asserting their dominance over lower tier teams, so it wasn't really anything special. So we're moving on to CSGO, where it's a little bit more contentious. So CSGO, what happened? Jim, lay it on me.
Well, we missed last week from some scheduling issues, so I'll just go quickly over last week. For anyone who didn't watch, the CLG won the iBuyPower Invitational, taking a victory over Liquid to close it out. They also qualified for the CEVO LAN, winning a best of 3 against Elevate with a pretty close comeback game on Mirage, and then just having a monster start on Overpass, winning the game pretty handily. Further, so come this week, they didn't have many games. It was 2 ESEA games, and that's the real gist of it. So they had a game against Denial on Season, which isn't a map that CLG practices so much. They do have to practice it because if you're not going to ban it, you have to practice it to some degree, but Denial has some really strong victories on that map so far. They have some real cool strats. I think there were a couple strats in which they ran through the tunnel on the map and just kept running rotations and circles until they just made their opponents dizzy. Further, they had, so that Denial loss made their next game against Elevate in ESEA, the last game of the season, really important because they were in a tie. They were tied with a few other teams leading up to the last couple of games in the season. So they played Elevate on Nuke, and if anyone recalls, Elevate has this history of getting leads, and then it's like a traditional CLG thing. Honestly, it's they pull at the heartstrings of their fans because their fans are sitting there watching. They have this amazing lead, and it's like the CLG Titan game. We're up 15-9. Oh, we're up 15-11. No, it's 15-14. They were Elevate had a huge lead, and CLG was able to in their CT side, so it makes sense, come back and eventually put it to an overtime, and in the end win in overtime, which pretty solid game overall. And there was a bit of no one knew who actually made ESEA final or LAN after that, because there were 4 teams. There was 1 team already qualified, and there were 4 teams trying to fill the last 3 spots.
Oh.
And no one was sure if it was going to head-to-head victories or rounds 1. And turns out it was head-to-head over rounds 1. If it was rounds 1, CLG wouldn't have made it to the LAN, but it was head-to-head, so they did make it to LAN.
Wait, round one, that'd be rounds one against them then, right?
It's like a rounds one in game, so if you lose a game, but you lose 16-14, it's much better for you than losing game 16.
I was thinking, like, assuming everyone won, wouldn't it just be 16 points for everybody?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
It was a kind of tight game because if the listings that they had up on their standings included overtime rounds won, so it got really nasty in there because teams like Elevate, who went to all these overtime games but won in the end, Elevate had an extremely inflated round one listing because you go through their they have all these 19, 20 crazy high round games when it just overinflates their score.
All right.
But it was
the Elevate game, the Elevate game that they just played. What was the score? Wasn't it like 19-17, something relatively close?
It was went to overtime. I actually don't have the score up right now.
I think no, it is 19-17. But like the thing is, haven't CLG CS won like 4 out of the 5 like past encounters they've had with Elevate? Because I think they won versus Elevate like pretty.
The last time they won against or lost against Elevate was in the Clutch Con.
Okay, yeah. So they've been playing pretty consistently versus Elevate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since like getting their asses handed to them, I think it was a 2-0. They picked it up and really gotten it together.
Oh, that was a 2-0? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got out of the group.
That's
and we
disgusting.
just got like rolled.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like
it's not like
they've been
Elevate's a
doing
bad
really well
team.
versus them,
It
especially.
was on catch, right? I remember watching that. It was like catch, and then we just got like,
Yes.
and then they're like, "What are they doing? They're running around without their heads." Okay, so anything else?
Yeah, that was on Dust 2, that game too.
I think the argument was they were sick at the time. I recall that being a thing.
Oh, okay.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, that's about it for Halo this week.
Halo.
CS:GO?
Not Halo, sorry, CS:GO.
Oh, we just started on Halo, man.
Yeah,
So
I was getting
on.
excited for Halo.
So moving on to Halo, we're going to have a special guest today. His name is Vorime. He's going to be helping us with the Halo section. He's watched countless Halo matches, been following the scene for a very long time, and we're going to hopefully have him introduce us to the Season 1 finals and what happened to PAX East. So, Vorime.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Was just looking through the stats one more time. Finally got them all set up.
How is CLG doing?
We did amazing. I mean, over the course of the season, we placed top 2 at every LAN event that we attended. Moving into the Season 1 finals this weekend, we were looking really strong, but Evil Geniuses were looking better than us. They had just beat us in the last LAN.
Yeah.
We were looking for an upset victory. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. So coming in day 1, we looked incredibly strong. We had a really easy 3-0 victory over Elevate. There was pretty much no contest there.
Contest? Okay.
The Denial match was one of the best of 5s I've ever seen in Halo history. And I urge everyone who's interested in Halo who hasn't seen it yet to go watch it. Every game was super close. We had a game we lost by like 7 seconds on Oddball. We won by 2 kills on a Slayer game. We won with Ochre 2, had an incredible clutch, which brought us into the 5th game.
Okay.
There were 2 seconds left on the clock, and he got both seconds on the hill to give us the win by 1 second on a King of the Hill match.
Wow.
Let's play close.
The interjections, though.
No. He was calculated. He was playing the numbers. They knew. They knew.
Yeah.
150, 151.
He snuck in
Totally
there.
calculated.
It was really
It was
incredible
all
to watch.
planned, guys. Come on.
So that was it for our games on day 2. It was interesting the way the tournament was set up. We played 1 best of 5 on day 1, 1 best of 5 on day 2, and then we ended up playing 3 on the 5th day. So
yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I actually missed like what apparently was the best series of the tournament from the best Halo played. So can you just like give us a rundown of that game too?
Of the Denial match?
Wasn't it the Noble Black match? Where
the Noble Black. Yeah, the Noble
everyone
Black
was
was
just
also.
like, please CLG, just finish it because they were
It
like,
was
having
hype.
a heart attack.
They were doing that CLG thing, man. They were playing with our hearts.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't that the one with like 20 million overtime?
Yeah, we lost. We went down 0-2 in the best of 5. We lost the second game 49 to 50.
Super close though. We were like
overtime.
overtime.
Yeah.
There was
Both
a
games were
lot.
close. We had a huge lead in the first match, and we ended up losing it. And then we lost by 1 kill in the second one. So we came to the third map, and we won 2-1 in CTF in overtime.
Oh.
Moving on to the fourth game, which was Warlord Bomb, which we looked really shaky on in the morning against EG in the winners finals, which we didn't touch on, but we'll go back to that.
Yeah.
And then the fifth game was a Team Slayer match that went to quadruple overtime. Meaning we tied up. We were 32-32 as time expired. So we went into an overtime. The way the overtime rules worked for Team Slayer at the tournament were they would do a replay of the map and mode with 5 minutes on the clock.
Okay.
So we ended up tying up 3 more times. We went 10-10, 10-10, 7-7. Finally, Royal 2 with some clutch snipes managed to take the victory and bring us into the grand final.
I'm wondering, in that match, what were the score lines like near the end? Like, who was top fragging those overtimes?
Honestly, this tournament was a full team effort.
Okay. Team effort.
I wouldn't.
Was
I
there
wouldn't
like a
pick
particular
standout
player that like stood up?
Honestly, like Royal 2 had an insane snipe in the third overtime to keep us in. I think it was the third overtime to keep us in the tournament.
Yeah.
But really, the whole team stepped up. Had an incredible tournament up until the grand final.
Okay. I was just wondering if there was a
grand final
mandatory ogre time.
That terrible, was it? It was okay.
No, we got crushed. We got dominated.
Right.
We were close.
Everyone got
we were
out
close for like we were like 2-1 for the bomb. Then it was like 3-4-1. It was like okay then. Okay, so well, that was I really went back and watched that, and it was really intense. Even though I was watching it like in the future. So then I just going back to the EG CLG winners finals back one more match.
Oh yeah.
Can you just give us a rundown what happened there too?
So the first game, it was looking like EG. I mean, they showed up to the tournament. They were everyone's favorites, and they looked like it. That first game, they crushed us. It was not close. They completely controlled the spawns. They got several spawn traps on us and ended up winning 5-1 in bomb, which is just ridiculous against CLG, who were known for having a strong warlord.
Yeah.
We managed to bring it back on Shrine and Team Slayer though, and on Lockdown Crazy King. We had 2 really good matches there, but we were typically in the lead. We never really fell behind in those games.
Okay.
The fourth match was Warlord CTF. It was pretty close. I think it came down to the wire. If I remember correctly, they got their third cap with like a minute, maybe 2 minutes left on the clock.
Okay.
But I mean, they just crushed us on Lockdown Team Slayer, and we had a repeat of that in the grand finals. They just outperformed us on Lockdown Team Slayer. They got a full setup. They had BR and Snipe Tower, and we were just spawning bottom blue. And there's just no saving a match when you're down on kills and you're spawning bottom blue.
Okay. So I was watching the grand balance of the CLG fighting chat on Twitch. So like Shrine CTF was kind of crazy for Snipe Down, wasn't it? Was Snipe Down just playing like that the entire tournament, or was this just?
No, I think he went like 41-16.
I think he had 40-something kills in one of the games.
I feel like I see Snipe Down do that every time I watch him play.
So good.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Capture the Flag one the one that actually CLG put up like the most of a fight? The other ones were kind of like
but Snipe Down
really
was like
one-sided.
Snipe Down got like
say that.
A bunch of multi-kills, I think.
Yeah, we got a full, we got a few flag pulls that got like halfway across the map or whatever, but they just outfragged us in that game. I mean, every single person on CLG, every player was, I think, like -8 to -10. Like, we were just kept down. It was pretty gross.
All right. So, can you just like give us a rundown for the rest of the series for that EG versus CLG?
In the grand final, yeah. A Lockdown Team Slayer, like I said before, I mean, they showed it in the morning, and they showed it. I mean, again, I'd like to reiterate, we played 3 best-of-5s, including one that had a game that went to quadruple overtime. We were exhausted going into that matchup. I think we had like maybe 10-minute breaks between the matches, so not very long. Like barely enough time to go to the bathroom, maybe grab a small bite to eat.
Unlike the matches in the previous tournament.
Yeah. And then, I mean, we lost it in the end, 2-5 on Warlord Bomb.
They played really well, though. I think this is CLG looking really, really solid, and I think this just might be just the NIP, the NIP scenario.
Yeah, outside
Where
of
you just get to
the
every single
grand final.
finals and you lose.
Yeah, I mean, we cemented our place as the at least the second best team in Halo, and we're looking really strong going into season 2. The first event for season 2, I believe, is Iron Games Atlanta.
Atlanta, okay.
And
I don't think they've announced it, have they?
They have.
Oh, they have? Okay.
They haven't announced most of the tournaments, but we know that there's going to be an
Yeah.
Iron Gaming event pretty early in
Well,
April.
I mean, compared to EG, at least CLG has something to reach for now.
Yeah. It
EG
was
is
better
like, we just have to hold on to the
so?
cup.
Yeah, it's nice to have a rival, even if it.
You have it when your hands are on the
okay.
cup, they get kind of greasy and it starts slipping, and you don't know what to do with it. It's like CLG League of Legends during the normal splits most of the time.
Or
You're at the
CLG
top,
Halo.
That's
Or-
a good
or
We
thing
won the
to
CLG
first
do.
Halo,
event and
I
came
guess,
second
yeah.
in the next 3.
It's a repeating
Very
sequence.
graphic.
Let's just say
All
Hotshot
right.
knows how to pick his teams. He knows what he wants.
All right. Good. So I think what we can take away from this tournament is just like CLG is super consistent. They've gone to every single final. Like they're going to be like strong going into the next season. We just need to tweak some things. Maybe like EG needs to fall off a little bit, and then we can be number 1, right?
We just practiced it up.
The
I think we can
dream.
do it as them.
The dream.
I don't think EG has to fall up. We just gotta fall down. We just gotta catch up.
Sharpen. Okay, good. So we're going to be moving on to the next segment, which is actually the plays of the week. So we're going to be running the clip, and then we're going to be talking about it a little bit afterwards.
Get dropped easily. He gets 1. He's got 4 more terrorists to deal with, and he's got his teammates coming into Mini to help him out. That is Hayes at Mini. And as well
What a
as
secret as well, though.
Yep, Tarek coming up at Secret. And Peter gets the shot through the smoke.
And a double kill on top of that.
And Peter goes ahead. That's 4. He gets 4 in that round. That was a nuts round by Peter going ahead and spamming that smoke. Gets a double kill.
Trying to go to secret, and they ran past the red crate, having a bunch of smokes in there. Peter had already peeked through garage and gotten 1-op kill through it, and then he went and peeked around the blue crate in the corner. Can't recall the name of that area, and just got a double kill straight. Like I'm sitting there watching the match, watching this play happen, and he doesn't see anyone. He just kind of shoots, and he aimed at the edge of the corner where most of the time they're going to peek from. So he caught 2 people going at the same time. It was
Okay. So
It's really
next
cool
segment-
watching Peter do like these super clutch plays. By the way,
Yeah.
because he usually like steps up a lot when it comes to like these really like kind of tense situations. He's really good at that.
And that play, we were down in rounds 14-7, and winning that round forced the other team on an eco. I mean, it was really clutch.
It was as I was saying before, it was a classic elevate. They get everyone's hopes up in CS:GO, and yeah, CLG kind of was able to take it. They took the important rounds was the big one. All those important rounds, especially that I think it was the early. Was it I think they took a T side round on in the overtime that just really cemented them in being able to win that.
All right. So moving on from the plays of the week section, or the play of the week, let's just talk about the player of the week. Like CLG LOL didn't really play anyone special this week. It's like Gravity and Coast, so I don't think we should really be warranting a mention there. CS:GO, Halo, Vorime, and Jim, give me the rundown for like who performed the best on each team and who do you think deserves that player of the week. Jim?
I mean, sure, it's kind of hard to say. In both of them, that both teams have been performing extremely well. I'd been watching Tarek stream during their matches, and Tarek has been stepping up. His frag line's been up there. He's been playing like the carry we expect him to. The aim has been great. But my opinion, I think Finesse has been... He's been getting some clutch pistol rounds, and the big one is he's been able to... Like, if you're sitting there watching through Tarek's stream, you hear the comms, and CLG's comms have gotten quite solid. They know exactly who needs to be saying what in the game. Peter's able to hype everyone up for rounds, keep them in the game, and Finesse is just calling the strats. It sounds great. I think he has been up there.
All right, so can you just do the Halo section for us and just give us a rundown of which player did the best?
Yeah, I mean, again, it was really a team effort at this tournament. If I had to pick a player, I would have to go with the GOAT. I'd have to go with Ogre 2. I mean, that play in the that Warlord Crazy King match against Denial, right at the end, picking up the victory, keeping us in the winners bracket. I mean, it was just an amazing performance from our whole team. But Ogre 2, I mean, the GOAT. You got to give him credit.
All right.
He's always clutch.
Okay. So, Craig, could you just give us a little, one more for the World one too? Just who do you think performed the best, even if you're not going to be the MVP or the CLG player of the week?
Okay. I might get a little bit of hate for this, but I really like what Zion Spartan's been doing for the team. Like, everybody's been saying, "Oh yeah, no, Zion doesn't team fight. He only split pushes, and he's a one-trick pony, literally pony Kasakuran." But I don't know. I think it's really nice that he's actually able to contribute to the team. When he played Kennen, he did really well. When he played Hecarim, he did really well. Granted, when he was Hecarim, when he came to the team fight, it was already practically over. But I don't know. I really like how Zion's addition to the team is really affecting this CLG LOL. So.
As I was demonstrating, it's all in the eyebrows.
Oh God. So, Jim and Marine, give me if you had to pick one player for the best player of the week, who would it be? Just.
I mean, it's Ogre time.
Oh God.
Mandatory.
It's all Ogre, baby.
Stop it!
It's all Ogre. The season's Ogre.
The season's Ogre? Can we just get this Ogre with?
Too many.
No, you see, you're part of it too. You are part of the problem.
I'm part of the problem? Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. So you know what ogres are like? Ogres are like onions. They have layers.
Stop! Don't you dare!
Oh, dude.
So we're moving on. Ogre 2 is the player of the week. We're going to be moving on to what's happening next week. No LCS next week, so we can all watch World Elite crush our favorite North American counterpart, TSM, right? Wouldn't it be great if World Elite just beat TSM and we could just rub that in their faces for the rest of the year? You mean the 11th best LPL? Are you kidding me?
You literally have footage of Double F saying Bay Life. Come on, man.
I think we might all be too busy watching CLG win the finals.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we watched the
Yeah, you may mention there's no league this week, but yeah, we can watch IEM, but we should watch the better part of IEM, the more important one, the one with CLG in it.
Okay. So let's just skip past the LoL segment and go to CS:GO. CLG IEM Katowice.
That's the spirit.
Katowice,
like Kato Pizza. Cat on Pizza.
Katowice. We discussed this.
So,
Katowice.
who's our group? Who are you guys watching out? Tell me what's going on. I'm going to go watch some CS:GO and drown my misery I'm going to be celebrating because TSM has been knocked out of the group by Gambit and World Elite.
So I'm a bit excited because the group format is like the format of the LAN qualifiers for it, which is each group is split into 2 matches, and the winners of each match play each other, and the losers play each other. It's a double elimination.
Yeah, okay.
And so what we have coming up is CLG's in a group with Hellraisers, Keat Stars, and Nip. If you don't remember who Keat Stars is, they are the former Kaboom roster,
So they're Peter's friends, right?
Correct.
I remember him, Coach Peter was coming on, right?
Yeah, but they're not playing Keat Stars in the first round, and they're also not playing Nip in the first round. They're up against Hellraisers.
Ooh,
which
should be a close game, right? Very close. Depending on which Hellraiser shows up, right?
Yeah, that's always a big thing. Hellraisers has a bit of a new roster. They've made a couple switches. In the season, they've had these players for quite a while now, but they've gone back to Dren, dropped Markolov, and gotten Flamey now, and dropped Simple.
They dropped Simple. Okay.
Yep, I think they have a pretty solid roster. Honestly, they're top 2 in their region, in the CIS region, just below Navi, my opinion. I think they have a bit of an edge against CLG in this matchup. I'd give it between a 55-45 or 60-40, but honestly, all of that relies on, in my opinion, down to which team's carries step up. If the carry player, if Dosia and Flamey are just going ham, then Hellraisers will have. I think they could just take it because Dosia has been insane when he's on. Though at the same time, if CLG, if Tarek and Peter are also going ham, if all four are going ham,
It's going to be a bloodbath.
it's going to be Thanksgiving. Who needs turkeys? It's just going to be this massive roast, and it's going to be a great game to watch. But yeah, I think there's a good chance for semi-upset there, just because Hellraisers is this kind of new roster where CLG is on the rise. They've shown that they can upset international teams, and they've shown good communication. Honestly, just watching all of Tarek's stream.
So you're
Also,
saying
in terms of that, I'm sorry. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's super cool how in the CSGO scene, international play isn't as, I guess, limited as it is for like League of Legends or something. Because for League, if you want to play versus an EU team or whatever other region team, you have to wait till an invitational or a certain kind of time. But here with CSGO, you get these kinds of, like they're playing NIP and like it's just like they're playing a lot of international teams. And
CSGO has this circuit system that's more like tennis to a degree, wherein you have these qualifying like regional qualifying tournaments that build up your points and make you able to be invited to these international tournaments. Yeah, you can get seeds and be able to be invited. Like, did Cloud9 not have to play through the invitation?
What is that called? Region locking?
No, it's called Thanks Riot, because Riot is such a benevolent.
Right, it used to be actually like League of Legends. When I first started watching, it used to be like that. You'd see CLG go to Korea and just play in OGN because they feel like it. They think that's where they need to learn and get better. But there's ups and downs. There's ups and downs to both systems.
And they got banned.
So if you like watching international play, if you like watching NA play against other regions, it's definitely worth.
We're totally better off
EU is the dominant region, though, isn't it?
In CS:GO for sure, it's the region that everyone said is the dominant for quite some time is the Swedes. Like,
rest in peace, NA.
We did see Envious. We saw Frenchmen step up and win in the recent big tournaments. Was MLG Aspen a major? I don't recall, but either way, the Frenchmen have shown that they can beat Swedes. But the other, I guess, Swedes to mention are the other two teams in the bracket, Keed and NIP are playing, which in most people's opinions, NIP should handily beat Keed. Though at the same time,
do they have a new guy? What's his face?
That's the only. The thing is, Keed has been playing with this roster for a little while, whereas NIP is testing out using Alu on.
Alu, yeah.
Yes, he's formerly a 3-max, and he was a reasonable I think there was a 3D Max player that came out and said there's no replacing this guy. Though the one thing that may throw off NIP to a degree and give the chance at this upset is that Alu is from Finland and the entire NIP roster minus him is Swedish, and they speak in Swedish in game. Though they all know English well enough that apparently they have started to use it.
Okay, so the problem with them would be communication.
Yes, could be. Exactly. Well, it's communication. And there's also is Alu the opera that they need? It's hard to tell. I mean, Michael Ailey got them to the finals of the past 3 tournaments. He's gotten them there, but he hasn't been able to get them the whole way. So maybe
I guess we just need to
get them the whole way.
I guess we just need to give Alu an opportunity.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I know, right? Such an original pun.
Very, very.
Do you have anything you want to add to that, Vorime?
Opportunity. Shut up.
I don't know. I just hope that Alu gets offset and drops out of the tournament to CLG.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that CLG has to play in the winners round of that double elimination.
Our producer just gave us the greatest pun ever.
I just said it. He was just quoting me.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one that heard offset, right?
No, that was intentional.
Nobody reacted. I thought
I thought I snuck it in there, but then he typed it.
Oh, I'm
sorry.
Yeah, no, I heard it. Nobody else reacted, and I was like, "Wait, is this for real?"
We didn't notice. Sorry.
Just say offset.
We're sorry. Let's move on.
There's I guess there's a couple things coming up in CS:GO further than IEM to be a bit hyped about. We have in April, I think it is, the CEVO LAN and the ESEA LAN. Both of those big LAN tournaments. So for all the people who are like, CLG doesn't have a big LAN history, well, We're going to have a lot of LAN data after the next couple months.
Best team NA?
Yeah, best team NA, right? Hopefully we'll
Alright.
consistently beat Cloud9 and just show it.
I believe we're playing Fnatic in the first round of ESA LAN if the seeds are correct, so it's going to be a pretty hard road.
That doesn't sound painful at all.
But don't we upset
Rest in
European
peace.
teams?
I think
No,
we
we
have a
upset,
winning record
we upset
against European
French
teams right now.
It's French teams that we upset.
Did we play Fnatic? No, we beat NIP once and we beat LDLC once, right?
No, we beat LDLC, which is envious now, and we beat Titan.
Yeah. Oh,
Both French
yeah.
teams.
Okay,
They just
whatever.
they put up the white flag and give up.
Please no. Please.
Yeah, that's it for what's upcoming in CSGO.
That's it for CSGO. Let's move on to Halo, where Jim doesn't know enough about other teams to trash talk them.
Sure.
So,
I mean, we don't know much about Season 2.
Are you talking about yourself?
There hasn't, as far as I know, as of this recording, there hasn't been much announced about Season 2 except for Iron Gaming Atlanta, which I think is a thing. I hope it is. I think it's
they say it.
in mid-April.
if
It's
it
like
isn't,
April 17th.
we'll have your shell, Squirtle.
So we'll see. We don't really know. But
Okay.
whatever events do happen, expect us to perform really well at them.
Okay, okie dokie. So that should be it for this week's episode of TLDR CLG. Thanks for tuning in. I would really like to thank our guest Matt or Vorime for coming in, and my co-hosts Cry and Jim. So once again, wave out and say goodbye, everybody. Thanks for waving, guys. It's totally
You can't
not
see it, but I'm
awkward.
waving.
Cry's just staring at me.